Well, my name is Jason Creel, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to kill weeds in your yard for less than $1. And this will work on a lot of different grass types and a lot of different weeds, but not all weeds. But I'm going to explain it all in this video. Today's video is sponsored by Graham Spray Equipment. You see my Graham spray rig behind me. I've got a 400-gallon split tank. If you need a spray rig for your business, then go to grahamse.com or just look on their website, give them a call, let them build a rig for you. So here's how this video is going to work. I'm going to show you the products that we're going to be using today. I've got the one product we're going to try out for less than $1 to kill the weeds in your yard. I've got another product I want to add in there with it, and I want to test really cheap product, kill them by itself, or how much does it get improved when you add another product that's also fairly inexpensive but not as cheap as the first product. So what we need to do is show you the weeds that's going to kill, show you the products, talk about the situation here, and then we're going to actually spray the weeds, and we're going to come back and check and just see the results for ourselves, because to me that's the best way. I want to see it work. I don't want to just talk about it working. So let me show you the weeds, and then I'll introduce you to the products. And just for clarification, it's springtime when I'm doing this video. That's a time when there's a lot of weeds popping up in the yard. You've got mature cool season weeds, and you've also got some young warm season weeds that are starting to show themselves. I'm looking at a Bermuda grass lawn, but these products will work on a lot of different grass types. All right, here's the weeds that we're dealing with, and I want to show you this one in particular. This is called American burnweed. Now, depending on what your pre-emergent strategy is, you can control this. A lot of times people say, oh, American burnweed, you can't control it because it germinates in the thatch and not in the soil. Well, I found that certain products will absolutely control it, but you can see that this one, I forget. Another video I was asking what that's called. I forget what that's called, to be honest with you. You've got nut sedge over here. It looks like some yellow nut sedge, and then some larger broadleaf weeds. That's some kind of thistle, I think. But we're going to be going after these broadleaf weeds. There's another very mature cool season weed. The thing about the American burnweed, it's almost like it pops up overnight, and there could be 300 of them in one little lawn. It just takes over very, very quickly. Now, mowing the grass a couple times usually will get rid of most of it, but it's also very easy to control with a different herbicide. So we're going to test out these two products. Let me show them to you. I've already got it mixed up, and we'll spray, and then I got to mix it up with just a cheap one, and we're going to try it like that as well. All right, a lot of times people ask me on my channels, like, Jason, what products to kill the weeds with? Well, a lot of times that depends on what weeds you're trying to kill and what grass type you have. But these are two that I use a lot when I'm trying to kill broadleaf weeds. So change up, this is in a 2.5 gallon jug, but you can also buy it in I think it comes in like a 32 ounce jug as well. And it's one of my favorite products just to control broadleaf weeds. Now, it's not gonna do much on a grassy weed, not gonna do much on a sedge, if anything. And then Manor is the really, really cheap product that we're going to try to kill. And I want to explain to you the math, how I get that you can kill the weeds in your yard for less than $1. This, I believe this bottle probably costs maybe somewhere in the neighborhood of $50. I'm not 100% sure. I may try to find the exact prices listed for right now, and then we'll do some math to show you what it actually costs to spray 1 yard. Because you use this at a very, very low rate. Such a low rate that it does make it hard to mix up in a little handheld sprayer. But I've got it mixed up in a ride-on machine, and you can also mix up in a big tank. And we're going to try it out by itself, see how well it works, and then I'm going to mix the two together and see how well they work together. The combination I know is extremely effective. Change up by itself is extremely effective. Manor by itself can be very effective as well. So what we're going to do, Manor by itself and then the Manor change up combination. The rates we're going to be trying them out at 16 ounces per acre with a change up, and simply a 1/4 ounce per acre. That's right, a 1/4 of an ounce, which is a very, very tiny amount per acre. So that's why it's hard to mix up in here, because a 1/4 ounce cover a whole acre. You could go to a 1/3 of an ounce, and often that's a recommended combination is 16 ounces of change up and a 1/3 of an ounce per acre for both of those. If I'm mixing up change up just in a little handheld thing, I'll go with 3/4 of an ounce per gallon of water and spray lightly. Now, I do add surfactant to this combination to help it be more effective, but we're going to try that and see how well it works. Now, I've already got it mixed up. This is my ride-on little one I use a lot of times for fertilizing. It's a back slope, and I've got it mixed up in here. The combination, the 16 ounces plus the 1/4 ounce is already mixed up in here. And the way that works, just exactly speaking. I've got a split tank. I'll mix this side up to just already mix for the ride-on machine where I can just spray it straight in the ride-on. That side over there is the larger side. This time of year I'm getting new sign-up, so I've got it mixed with some other stuff if I was to get a new customer sign-up. So what I like to do on these kind of videos, I'll make a little flag. I've got that one labeled combo and this one MSM. So the Manor, the active ingredient is called metsulfuron. Sometimes you may just say MSM. You might see the same active ingredient under a product called MSM Turf. It's essentially the same active ingredient that's in Manor. And Change Up has different active ingredients including dicamba. One of the things about Change Up is like a lot of times when the weather gets hot, you don't want to use 2,4-D on a lawn, so you can switch over to Change Up for broadleaf weed control because it doesn't have 2,4-D in it. All right, I'm out here, got dew on the ground early in the morning and making some foot tracks, but I've got my 2 spots marked. And I may have to cut the grass before the video's over, so we'll see how that plays a role. So this is gonna be just the MSM only right here. You see there's a geranium, you got that weed, I still ain't figured out the name of it. You got some American burnweed popping up here. So we've got plenty of weeds, burnweed, burnweed, burnweed. So we get a good sample here. And if I move over to this section, I've got the combo, same situation, lots of easy control broadleaf weeds. And that's what we're mostly going after. We're not gonna do anything to this sedge right here. You'll see probably in the video that it won't be affected whatsoever. So we're gonna spray these and then we'll check on the results. All right, what I'm gonna do is I've got it mixed up in my sprayer. I'm gonna spray the side that says combo because that's what I've got mixed up in the ride-on machine. I don't have a whole lot left in the machine. I'm gonna empty that out probably on other parts of the yard because I got American burnweed all over the place. Once I empty that out, I can fill it back up just with the MSM, the metsulfuron, and spray just that section. So let's spray the combo first. Now, some grass types, including Bermuda grass, I could go up to 32 ounces on the Change Up and a ½ ounce on the metsulfuron, at least. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I go at 1/4 ounce and a 16 ounce, so I'm definitely way under the max rate. We will come back and spray the other side and we'll check on the results. All right, it's been a long day and I haven't got the other sprayed yet. So what I did, I went ahead and sprayed out all of the combo mix, the Change Up and the metsulfuron, and then I refilled the tank with just the metsulfuron. So in fairness, I sprayed this out, you know, as low as it would go with the sprayer. I didn't like triple rinse the tank or something, so I'm not saying, you know, I didn't go buy a new machine that never had any other chemical in it, but for the vast majority of this, it's just the metsulfuron. So once I got it down very low, I filled it back up and then added the 1/4 ounce per acre of metsulfuron and a little bit of surfactant. Usually on the surfactant, going like 24 ounces per acre. I'm sorry, 24 ounces per 100 gallons, usually somewhere between 16 and 32 ounces. I just go in the middle and go 24. So I've got it mixed up, just the metsulfuron. Let's spray the other patch of weeds and then we'll continue on with the video. So we'll give it a little bit more time and we will check back and see how fast the results. I want to see, 1, do they both work? 2, how fast do they work? And then we may have to cut the grass, so we're going to have to observe that if the mowing affects it at all. There should be plenty that didn't get sprayed that we could also look and see how they compare with the ones that did get sprayed. We'll check back soon. Well, it hadn't been long since we did the application, about 24 hours is the next day. Now, in fairness, I sprayed the combo in the morning, the other was like early afternoon. So let's take a look. This is not the end result, I just want to show you how fast it can work. All right, start with the combo. Again, sprayed early in the morning, and now it's late afternoon the following day. So maybe somewhere in the neighborhood of 36 hours later, you're getting these kind of results. Very fast, of course, doing nothing to the nut sedge, not a surprise or whatever we got there. So you can see American burnweed wilting over, wilting over, wilting over. Now look at the metsulfuron, which got a slightly later start, but you're starting to see that the geranium still getting similar results. Maybe not quite as impressive. Definitely doing something to these plants as well. So we got a little bit more time to go. I want to see what it looks like, you know, maybe a week from now. I don't know how long it's going to go, but just wanted to show you how fast it does work just literally the next day from when I did the application. We'll check back soon. Well, we're about 5 days in on the application. Let's see what's changed so far. All right, starting off, which one is this? This is just the MSM here, and you can see the results are not that much different than what they looked like the other day. But you can see some kind of yellowing out of the plant here, discoloration of that one. Let's see if we can find some other examples. We cut the grass, so I tried to avoid this area. See, that one's wilted over. Now let's look at the combo and see what it looks like, if it's any different. Definitely a lot more discoloration or kind of yellow look of that. You can see our sedge there, still looks perfectly normal. American burnweed, you see that one really did a lot to it. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. I mean, it's working. It's not, like I say, it's not a vanishing act. I had that happen with a customer the other day. I'd sprayed her weeds like 2 weeks ago, I think, and she called and wanted me to come back out there and spray them again. And this is just in fairness. It was a customer that I had signed up last year, and I tried to talk her out of using the service. I was like, I just didn't have a great feeling about it. She said, no, I want to do it. Don't judge a book by its cover, kind of thing. It was one of these deals where I had to leave the thing on the door, and she'd mail in a money order, and sometimes it'd be the right amount, sometimes it wouldn't be the right amount. But I mean, it was going fine. It was going fine until it wasn't going fine. And she said, hey, can you come back out and respray the weeds? And I was there like 2 weeks ago or something. I said, I texted her back, she's texting. I said, did you have you cut the grass? Like, cause springtime. This is going somewhere, I promise. Anyway, she said, have you cut the grass? She said, what does that have to do with anything? I'm asking you about the weeds. I said, well, if I spray the weeds and you haven't mowed the grass, then that might be part of the problem. You know, for instance, these weeds I'm showing you right now, I think are basically dead. I mean, they're not dead, but they're dying. If I mow the grass, I don't think they're gonna grow back. Now, if I leave them here for 2 weeks, you could still see the weed, and you might say, I've still got weeds. You know, I say, it's not a magic act. They don't vanish in thin air, but they're dying, and if you mow the grass, they don't grow back. So she said, anyway, she's like, what does that have to do with mowing grass? And then she said, you know, will you come back out? I said, no, I'm not gonna come back out. And I do come back out if I need to, but in this situation, I didn't think I needed to. And she said, well, just don't come back. You know, and I was like, well, that's fine. I mean, I tried to talk you out of being a customer last year. So, I mean, this was what I, not saying wanted to happen, but I was like, I didn't think it was gonna work out, and guess what? It didn't work out. So, but it worked for a little while. So, hope that helps. We're gonna check back maybe one more time and then wrap up the video and see what these weeds look like. So we're probably 9 days, I'm guessing, after the initial application. Let's show you the results. These are gonna be our final results. I'm not waiting around forever to see the weeds just continue to turn into a crunchy ball of nothing. Plus, we're getting into May. Wrap up the video sooner than later. The weeds are gonna be, they're gonna die from the heat. So let's see what they look like, and I wanna make some observations. All right, which one is this? Again, this is just the metsulfuron. So look at that. Look what it did to that. Now, again, I think it would continue to get worse and worse and worse as time went on. But I've seen what I need to see. These are not gonna grow back if you mow them, I don't think. So excellent results on these. You can see some, what it did to this kind of weed as well. And one thing I wanted to note that I thought was interesting, look at this. This is American burnweed. It looks untouched. American burnweed can pop up so fast. What I think happens, I think this American burnweed popped up after I sprayed the application. So I think that's a healthy one that has come after the fact. So, that's gonna happen sometimes. I'm not blaming the metsulfuron on that. Over here on the combo, maybe slightly better results, but it would be minimal. I'm really encouraged with what the metsulfuron did on its own. But of course, these, once I mow it, not growing back. You can see there, what I just say, American burnweed, looking like that, American burnweed. So we got the results we were looking for. Very damaged weeds, and of course, you got sedges and everything. You're not gonna get anything to happen on that. I should say not to get anything happen on that with that application we used. So really good results with the metsulfuron, really good results with the combo. I, a lot of times, will just use change up by itself, so, but it looks like it is encouraging, because I know even later in the summer, let's say I got spurge everywhere. Sometimes you can just go out there with just metsulfuron and do a lot to control that for a really, really, really cheap price. So that was what we were testing. killing weeds for a dirt cheap price, and I think we accomplished it in this video, and then of course showed you the combo, which also worked as well. Thanks for watching. If you want to hang out and watch more videos, let me suggest the one that's popping up on your screen right now, or you can go over to lawncarelife.com and check out the resources if you want to get in weed control and fertilization like me. We'll see you guys in the next video.